If someone told you that you could win $100,000 just by playing a VR game, you'd probably say, "Where do I sign up?" But what if they forgot to mention that losing comes with a one-way ticket to the afterlife? These gamers thought they were stepping into the ultimate tournament. High stakes, high reward. But when the line between virtual and reality starts to blur, they realize this isn't just a game. It's a death trap. Now, every headshot, every level, and every mistake could mean the difference between cashing out or being logged out permanently. We are about to dive into the ultimate virtual battleground as we break down the high-stakes action and brutal twists of the call-up. In the near future, 8 gamers receive a cryptic invitation to test a new VR game called The Call-Up, with a tempting $100,000 prize on the line. They arrive at a high-rise building where a robotic voice instructs them to sign in and strip down. Literally. Personal belongings get locked away, and they suit up in high-tech motion capture gear. As they change, Adam struggles with his outfit. Carl reveals a scar that's seen better days, and Andre casually drops his military pass. Once suited up, they step onto a scanner to register their usernames, unaware that one name is about to cause some serious tension. Zahid, who chose the ironic gamer tag terrorist, quickly regrets it when he realizes it's now displayed for everyone to see. He tries to leave, but the door won't budge. With no escape, he reluctantly stays in the game. The voice announces the training module, and as helmets snap shut, reality bends. The sterile room vanishes, replaced by a hyper-realistic war zone. Their casual clothes transform into military uniforms, complete with tactical gear, and their tattoos fade like a bad respawn. Nothing in this world feels fake, but a quick test shows their hands phase through objects. Enter the Sergeant, an NPC so lifelike he could have his own enlistment papers. He barks orders, treating them like fresh recruits. To confirm he's not real, a few players lift their helmets, revealing the empty room beneath the illusion. The Sergeant leads them to an armory where they pick up weapons, props in reality, but packing a punch in the sim. Practice begins with target shooting, and the players marvel at the recoil. But the warm-up turns ice cold when the Sergeant suddenly opens fire. 2 players lose their protective vests, revealing a harsh rule. 1 hit strips you of your armor, leaving you vulnerable. Take another hit, and you'll need a serum injection to stay in the game. But there's a catch. They only get 1. The mission is simple. Take out the terrorists and make it to the ground floor alive. Do that, and the cash prize is theirs. But with a game this realistic, simple is just a word. As the Sergeant vanishes, Andre steps up to lead, using his military experience to keep the team in check. Stealth is the name of the game, until an enemy spots them in the corridor and opens fire. Most duck for cover, but Andre moves like he's done this before, taking the guy out in one clean shot. A robotic voice announces they've cleared level 25, and Andre gets all the points. The others poke at the body, confirming it's just another NPC. They hit the stairs, only to find an electrified barrier blocking any early escape. No shortcuts here. Moving into level 24, they stumble upon upgraded weapons. Andre gives a crash course on how not to shoot yourself, and the team advances. Marco takes out the first enemy, and confidence spreads like wildfire. Players dart between cover, picking off targets with newfound enthusiasm. Adam, however, sprays bullets everywhere except at the enemies. Andre steps in to clean up his mess, but in doing so takes a hit. His vest is gone. Meanwhile, Taylor is spiraling. She wasn't even supposed to be here. Her friend got the invite and she took their place, but the game's brutal realism is too much. Shelly tries to snap her out of it, but when it's her turn to shoot, she freezes too. A terrorist closes in, until Carl puts him down. A second later, Carl takes a shot and loses his vest. Panicked, he tries to surrender. No mercy, the enemy fires again. Shelly guns the guy down. Both rip off their helmets, expecting relief. Instead, Carl is hit with a wave of unbearable pain. Something isn't right. Andre injects him with the serum, and the agony vanishes in an instant. But the damage is done. Carl's shaken, and when he pulls off his helmet again, his body rejects the experience violently. The group calls a timeout. Adam rummages for new weapons while Carl voices his theory. This isn't a game, it's a reality show. Zahid, spiraling, tries to rip off his suit but fails. Marco suggests it's some kind of military experiment, then turns suspicious. What if Andre is their inside man? Tension spikes. Andre steps away to cool off, heading to the bathroom. But the game never paused. The terrorists they killed respawn, and one tracks Andre down. He barely has time to slam his helmet shut before a bullet finds its mark. Andre wants to heal himself, but he already burned his one shot on Carl. Before he can process that, the room erupts in chaos. The others hear movement, snap their helmets shut, and just like that, Edward is gunned down. The team scrambles for cover. Taylor makes a break for the stairs, but the game isn't done with them yet. Access denied. The firefight intensifies. Edward manages to use his serum while Andre, bleeding out, drags himself through the corridors. Adam lobs a grenade, wiping out the remaining enemies, and just like that, the level is over. His reward? The high score. But while the noise dies down, a new sound creeps in. Andre calling for help. He opens his helmet. A timer starts. Before he can react, his body seizes, electrocuted from the inside. By the time the others find him, it's too late. Shelley attempts CPR, but there's no saving him. The system coldly announces the next level, but now the players aren't so eager to continue. That's when they spot it. Real blood pooling on the floor. The helmets aren't just keeping them in, they're execution devices. Zahid panics and grabs a fire extinguisher, proposing an emergency exit plan. Carl steps up to test it, but no amount of bashing makes a dent. The sergeant materializes, walking straight through Carl before punishing Zahid with a brutal beating. The message is clear: play the game or suffer the consequences. With no choice, the team pushes forward. They clear several levels, each introducing new weapons and mechanics. A gas leak forces them to fight with knives, taking the horror to an uncomfortably personal level. Taylor struggles and Shelley reassures her. She'll get her out of this. As they descend, more players lose their vests. A heated battle takes down Carl and Adam, forcing Marco and Shelley to use their last serums. Exhaustion sets in. When they check outside, it's already night in the real world. Desperate, they test the windows, hammering them with whatever they can find. Zahid manages to crack the glass with a cart, but just as hope flickers, the sergeant reappears. This time, he's not holding back. He pummels Zahid with crushing blows before sending him tumbling down the stairs. The brutal fall shatters his leg. As a final warning, the sergeant makes it clear: try to escape again, and next time, it's death. The group drags Zahid to a hiding spot, but a grim reality sets in. His injury exists in real life, not the game. No serum can save him. As the computer voice urges them forward, Zahid tells them to leave him behind. Minutes after they go, he succumbs to blood loss. On the next floor, tensions rise. Marco argues over the new weapons, too distracted to notice a hidden enemy taking aim. A single shot lands, right in the rear. The team retaliates, bullets flying, as Taylor dashes into a bathroom stall to hide. The fight escalates until another grenade wipes out the remaining threats. Marco gets patched up, but now they realize Taylor is missing. A lone terrorist enters the bathroom, checking each stall one by one to find Taylor. She explodes from the doorway, knife first, taking him down before he can react. With the level cleared, Edward claims the high score, climbing to the top of the leaderboard. During their break, a chilling realization dawns. None of them have family, no one to report them missing, no one to ask questions if they disappear. They weren't just picked for their gaming skills. They were chosen because no one would notice if they never came back. And the game isn't done with them yet. The next floor introduces a new problem. The sergeant stands over a hostage, delivering another beating. Then he drops a bombshell. Literally. There's an explosive in the basement, and if they don't reach it in time, this whole building, along with everyone in it, goes up in flames. The only way to disarm the bomb is to get the code from the hostage, but he's wired to a voltage system, and Edward doesn't hesitate to crank up the juice. The guy screams, pleads, and finally spits out a word. Adam types it into the computer, only to trigger the countdown. 30 minutes until game over. The sergeant exits while the hostage bursts into laughter. Taylor silences him permanently. Marco, already on edge, turns on Adam, blaming him for the mistake. His first punch glances off the helmet, so he takes it off to land a real one. Taylor steps in but catches a hit herself. Before things escalate further, the sergeant's voice booms. He's holding the elevator. The team rushes inside, but the ride is anything but smooth. The elevator jerks to a stop, barely opening its doors. Marco forces a gap so everyone can squeeze through. Except when Adam tries, Marco blocks him. Both get trapped inside as the doors shut and the elevator descends. It spits them out on the third floor, where they spot a crashed helicopter through a window. No time to dwell, Marco forces Adam to take point. Adam manages to take down an enemy, but burns through his ammo. Marco keeps shoving him forward, using him as a human shield. It works, until Adam takes one too many shots and drops for good. 15 minutes left. Marco cracks, but survival kicks in when the system announces the level is complete. Meanwhile, the rest of the team scavenges weapons on the fourth floor. A terrorist tosses a smoke grenade, sending Carl into a spiral. Smoke triggers memories of the fire that scarred him and took his girlfriend. Shelley gets him back on his feet and they push forward. Level by level, they fight their way to the first floor, nearly out of ammo. While the others fend off the terrorists, Taylor searches the area and finds a serum. Before she can use it, Marco appears. He demands the injection. She refuses. Marco responds with a bullet. Carl comes looking for Taylor and finds her lifeless body, but she left him a message, Marco's username, scrawled in blood. Rage takes over. Carl rips off his helmet and attacks Marco in real life, landing kicks before going for a chokehold. Marco slams him against the wall and starts pummeling him. Carl fights back with a fire extinguisher, but Marco recovers and moves to finish him off. Before he can, the sergeant steps in. Marco barely gets a chance to react before he's being strangled to death. The remaining 3 players regroup, their numbers dwindling fast. Only 7 minutes left. They reach the basement, and the voice announces the final level. New weapons, one last floor, and a wave of enemies standing between them and survival. Every time they spot an opening, they push toward the bomb, but the enemies just keep spawning. Carl lobs a grenade, clearing the way for a final sprint, until a van screeches into view. A hidden gunman sprays bullets, dropping Carl while Shelley and Edward dive for cover. Carl scrambles for his serum, but Shelley checks the countdown. 2 minutes left. She bolts toward the bomb, but takes a hit before she can reach it. Carl crawls to her, taking another bullet along the way. But instead of healing himself, he injects Shelley. His last words, a final order, to win. Edward wastes no time. He fires a bazooka, sending the last enemy flying in a blaze of pixels. 1 second left. He sprints to the bomb, hits the override, and the clock freezes. The sergeant appears, delivering his congratulations, but something feels off. As Edward repeats the speech word for word, the truth clicks. He was the inside man all along. The simulation ends. Men in black flood the room, knocking Shelley unconscious as they sweep the building and erase all traces of the game. Player data is wiped, the server shut down, and the operation disappears into the shadows. Morning comes. Shelley wakes up, now in her regular clothes, and spots Edward in a suit, directing cleanup. He hands her a bag stuffed with cash, but when she threatens to go to the police, he laughs. No proof, no witnesses. No one would believe her. Before another agent can sedate her, she flips the script, injecting him instead. In one swift move, she grabs his gun and takes out every light in the parking lot. Edward's men charge in, but they never stood a chance. After everything she survived, this was just another level. One by one, she eliminates them. Edward begs for mercy. She gives him bullets instead. With the job done, she walks away, leaving the money behind. So, moral of the story, guy, avoid virtual reality. Seriously. And if you receive a strange text about a virtual reality tournament, I don't care if you are the best gamer alive, delete that shit and stop your phone. And if you thought this was brutal, wait until you see what happens when an elite sniper is assigned by the government to guard their secret. But they forgot to tell him that said secret is literally in hell. Click here to watch it. That ending will haunt you.